Many of the coins you know today are going to zero, and that is because most of the coins you know are actually Ponzi. Let's look at the coins in this period of 2018, and among all of the coins you can see right here, how many of them can you still recognize up till today? Just a few of them, right? Now let's go to 2014. This same February of 2014. Now look at the coins you are seeing here. How many of these coins do you recognize today? So this simply tells you that as the year goes by, many of the old coins get flushed out and only few will survive the bear market. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum would obviously survive, but the question is, how would you know which other coin would survive? And that is what I want to talk about in this video. But before I do that, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before this year ends. So do that right now to be part of our journey. And let's get started. The simple answer to know which coin will survive is to simply focus on revenue generating crypto products. Let's go to DeFi Llama. Let me show you something. Now, over here on DeFi Llama, you can basically see the revenue of these products, these companies or products in the last 30 days, right? Aave has made $11 million. Lido has made $5.6 million. And then you can see a bunch of many of them here. You can also go to yearly revenue, and over here you can see Aave is earning $108 million yearly. Lido is doing $80 million yearly, and you can see a bunch of them here. Now what I'm going to do is just to click on this to filter to the highest to the lowest. What you can see is Tether, which is USDT, did over $7 billion in 1 year. Circle, which is the owner of USDC, did $2.5 billion in 1 year. Hyperliquid is actually the next year with $910 million. Pump.fun with $534 million. Axiom, Jupiter, and Aerodrome, PancakeSwap, and many other ones you can see right here. Now, when you look at this list, not all of these companies here have tokens. Like USDT is actually a stable coin, so they don't have a token, right? Circle, which is USDC, is just for the crypto side, is just USDC, is a stable coin, so they don't have a token. The only one that has a token here is Hyperliquid, Pump.fun. Axiom doesn't have a token. This one doesn't have a token. Jupiter has a token. Sky, Phantom doesn't have a token. Fragment, and you can see many of them here do not have tokens, right? Now, when you look at the ones that have tokens and go to CoinMarketCap and look at the coins in the top 100, how many of them can you see here are among these ones that are making the highest money? You would barely see some of these top coins. You can see Hyperliquid is here, which is cool. But many of these top coins you can see here, they're not making as much as you think. Although not all of the coins you can see on this list here are tracked on DeFi Llama, so you really can't tell completely the revenue metrics for that particular product. Doing further research should tell you if a product is actually making money or not. And I know some of you are going to be asking the question, why is revenue important? It is important because most of these companies need money to run their operations and also to pay salaries. Now, I understand that some of them do raise money from investors and the rest of that, but what happens when you exhaust the entire money you've raised from investors? Now you have to fall back to the revenue you're generating. And if you're not generating any revenue and you have a token, what is going to simply happen is you have to go and sell your token to the market just so you can get funding to run your operations and also pay salaries. And this is why sometimes you look at the token that have crashed by 60, 70, or even 80%, and you think maybe this token has bottomed. There's no need why this token is going to crash more. But what you end up seeing is this token ends up crashing even more. And that is because most persons are not selling. The major persons selling are the teams. So this is simply why focusing on companies that generate revenue and have a token might be a better bet for you come 2026 and even beyond. Now, the next thing I would like to address in this video is not all of the revenue generating companies you can see are actually using their money to buy back their token. Now, this brings me to the point, which is buyback and burn. For you to be able to find a token that is sustainable and would stay here beyond time, there should be a level of buyback and burn in that particular token, or even some incentive that will make it attractive to hold the token. Now, when I'm talking about buyback and burn, I'm not simply talking about the one where your regular meme coin, where whenever you buy it, they use part of the money generated in trading volume that is allocated to the team to buy back the token. That is not the buyback and burn I'm talking about. The buyback and burn I'm talking about is when a crypto product is generating revenue. Now, part of that revenue is used to buy back their original token. This is simply the type of buyback and burn I'm talking about, and it is more sustainable over the ones where it is based on the volume that is used to buy your token, or maybe on dexes like pump.one and the rest of that. So let's go over to some of the examples of crypto products that have tokens that are actually doing buyback and burn. Off my head, I can give you a few examples, but let me filter this by 1 year again. The first person I know that does buyback and burn is Hyperliquid. At the moment, you can see that it says 99% of fees go to the assistance funds for buying Hype token, excluding builders fee. So most of the revenue they are generating is used to buy back the Hype token, right? Now let's go over to the next one here, which is pump.one. Now pump.one, for the pump token, they are also using their revenue to buy back their token, and it is trackable. You can see here it says holders revenue, pump token buyback from revenue. So you should be able to track what they are using to do buyback. But at the moment, they are using 100% of the money they are generating to buy back their token. And there are a few of them. Jupiter here used to do it, but they recently stopped it based on the announcement made by one of their team members. PancakeSwap also does buyback and burn in a way. Meteora is doing buyback and burn in full like that. This is one good product that is doing buyback and burn. They're generating about $61 million yearly. Other ones I can look off my head is Bonk.Fund. The money generated from Bonk.Fund is actually used to buy back their token. I think some is imputed into the Bonk token, and the other one is imputed into their main token. Uniswap recently put out the proposal to conduct buyback and burn with the revenue they generate. And there are some of them here that does buyback and burn, apart from these ones I've mentioned. Graphite Protocol also does buyback and burn. You can see they generate $27 million. I think it's the product behind Bonk.Fund Launchpad. They do buyback and burn. Now, aside from these ones I've mentioned, a few other ones here also does buyback and burn. But if I want to show you one by one, that should take us so much time for me to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is to put out a thread on Twitter talking about these tokens that are doing buyback and burn. What you're going to do is to go to my Twitter account at UcheCrypt and check out that tweet about some of these platforms that does buyback and burn of their token. But you see, after we've been able to address the issue of buyback and burn, it doesn't end there, because we could be doing buyback and burn and it has no effect. A good example is Jupiter. Jupiter makes around $252 million yearly, and one of their team members recently announced that they invested over $70 million in buying back the Jup token. But what happened afterwards? The token did not do well in 2025, which simply tells us that buyback and burn on its own is not completely sustainable, especially when you don't have good tokenomics. And this brings me to the point, which is you need to have good tokenomics for buyback and burn to be effective. If I go to tokenomics.ai and check out the Jup token, right, what you're going to see is every single month, around $14 to $36 million get unlocked. Even now, they're unlocking 7.94% of their supply monthly. Previously, this would be around 1.7. They're unlocking over $10 million monthly. Now, if you calculate $10 million by 12 months, that's $120 million, right? And then if you say you're using $70 million from your revenue to buy back that token, how is that buyback and burn sustainable when every other person could dump their token? And then what is the effect of the buyback and burn at the end of the day? So that is why you need to look at good tokenomics when you're focusing on buyback and burn. I'm going to give an example with pump.one token here. The revenue is huge, right? $534 million annually, right? Now, they also do buyback and burn with all of their revenue. But what you can see for the pump.one token on tokenomics is that by 12th of July, there is around $161 million, which is approximately 20% of their supply that is getting unlocked. Now, imagine if the people getting this unlocked, which is the team getting 11% and existing private investors getting 7%. Now, imagine if they have to dump this token on the market. What is going to be left of the pump token? Mind you, when I go to TradingView right now, you can see the chart for the pump token is almost at all-time low. Now imagine if they have to dump extra $161 million, what will be left of this chart? Mind you, they've been buying $500 and something million manually, but what will be left of this chart when they dump $161 million? And that is why you need to learn to look out for unlock schedules. Not all of the project or team members are going to dump their token, but it calls for you to be very careful when you are making your decision as to which token to actually buy and hold for long term. So you can use this strategy to check out a lot of tokens, and you should be able to find out the ones that suit your narrative and should be here for long term. Mind you, if Pump.one continue doing about $500 million buyback in their token, then I presume they should be able to absorb this $161 million. Maybe we can't really tell. And another thing you also need to consider is this revenue going to be consistent? With the way it is for meme coins right now, most persons are not concerned about trading meme coins anymore. So if it is something like that, it simply means the revenue is also going to drop. Is the revenue going to continue at $500 million every single year? There are two chances. It may or it may not. So all of these things are what you need to put into place to be able to find out which is going to be here for the long term. So this is basically it about how you should be able to find out coins that would survive during this bear market. And aside from these ones I've mentioned, one thing I can also tell you is the likes of Doge, which is the OG meme coin, is obviously going to survive. And this is because right now it's sitting at $15 billion, but it's obviously going to survive. It has been here for, I think since 2015 or thereabout. Shiba is obviously going to survive, which is, these are like tokens that do not have any intrinsic value, like they don't generate revenue. To the extent I know, many of them do not generate revenue, especially these meme coins. But because they've been here for so long and people trust that they have a good community, there are chances that they're going to survive beyond 2026. So aside from looking out for revenue, some of these things you also need to put them into perspective when making your decision as to which token you need to hold for the long term. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you don't have an account with Wix, I have my link in the description. Use that to sign up right now to start trading, so you can get bonuses when you sign up right away. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it right now and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.